Hello guys, it's me, back with a very bold video with a very bold title. It is very scary to go up against big YouTubers as a small one. Well, Unidaro recently released a guide for Viper. It's a pretty good guide, I just recommend you guys to check it out. But there is one thing that I think he might be incorrect about, and that is the damage received from Snakebite and decay together. Basically, in his video he states that the Snakebite and the decay together do a total of 28 damage in the first second, 69 in the second, 110 in the third, and 151 in the fourth. Well, I did an analysis of his lineups a month back and made a video on it, which I had to take down because the bomb time had to be calculated by myself, and I had to take the video down. In that analysis, I calculated my own damage and I got around 39 damage per second constantly. But in his video, it appears to be something else. So I tried to contact him in DMs and I'm really glad he replied. He's a really good guy. This video is just to try and straighten up the numbers because I'm not sending any hate to him. His guide is pretty good. It's just the damage numbers that concern me and I would like to clear those numbers up. I might not be 100% correct, but I do have my own proof to tell you exactly why my numbers stack up and why his numbers might be incorrect because of what's provided. Anyway, he was sweet to me and replied to me in DMs the sources that he had used. The sources that he had used were the exact same sources that I used, and it seems that they have changed a lot in the wiki page within a period of 1 month. Because when I did my analysis a month ago, that the damage numbers was different. It wasn't 26 in the website, it was 24. So I'm not sure if these wiki pages are reliable or not. That's one thing that I had to remember because of this incident. Anyway, if you scroll to Viper's Snakebite, it states that it lasts for 8 seconds with 26 damage per second, vulnerable effect included. But if you go to the Snakebite's separate page, it states that it lasts for 7.6 seconds and the damage is, what? 13 to 26? So this was strange because I remember that when they introduced the vulnerable for Snakebite, in the patch they specifically stated that the Molotov's damage was reduced but the vulnerable doubles it up. So the total damage done by the Snakebite remained unchanged. So it doesn't make sense why this number seems to be variable, and in the main wiki page of Viper they say it is at DPS of 26. Well, Unidaro considered that it does 13 damage in the first second and 26 in the rest of the seconds, because it states here that first step of damage is dealt 2 times lower than others due to vulnerable applying after the first damage take. I'm not entirely sure what this sentence means, but I think he considered that every step is 1 second, so he considered that first second it does 13 damage and the next second and onwards it does 26. I say this because he gave me the calculations that he did. He did 15 plus 13. 15 is the decay damage, 13 is the Molotov, so he got 28. And then for the next second he did 15 plus 26 and then he added that to 28. So it makes sense that it might be the case. Well, I performed an experiment to try and determine what the damage exactly is and whether it is variable or not. I went into the practice range, I threw the Molotov on the bot which gives you the damage. Now, stopwatches are relatively unreliable unless you use it properly, and I haven't really used a stopwatch before, but I've used a trick before that I have also used on my spike video. Basically, what you can do if you do not have a stopwatch is you can get a clip, you can put it in your project timeline, and you should make sure the project's frame rate matches the clip's frame rate. Since you know the frame rate, you can calculate the amount of frames that you want to calculate the time of and divide the number of frames divided by the frame rate. That will give you the amount of time that is going on in the clip. So what I did is I cut the clip at the start of the frame when the damage starts ticking. So before this frame it doesn't show any damage, and just at this frame it says 2, 1. Now, since I think that the damage of Molotov should be 26 damage per second, if I skip to the next second of the clip, I should be getting 26, right? And how do I do that? Well, the clip is 60 FPS, the project is 60 FPS. That means if I skip 60 frames ahead, I would be skipping 1 second. And that's exactly what I did. Whatever the frame number it is present right now, I added 60 to that. And when you go to that specific frame, voila, it says 26 damage. So it must be 26 damage per second. In order to double check whether there is some sort of inconsistency. What I did is, in between this 1 second clip, I divided the clip into several parts, and each part I tried to determine what is the rate of damage, and each rate was the same. How did I calculate the rate? Well, we know how much damage is being done. We will also know how much time is being used for the damage to be done. So we simply divide the amount of damage done to the amount of time taken, and we will get the rate. So I do not think this damage is variable. I'm pretty sure it is 26 damage per second constantly throughout the thing. Well, none. Why does it say in the Wikipedia page that it is 13 to 26? Well, I might have the answer, but it is mathematical. I did not have a friend to test this with at the time of recording as well as at the time of checking the damage. What I think, what my theory is that we know that agents who can heal other agents, they will take less damage from every source that is damaging to them. So if Phoenix is on Brimstone's Molotov but is also being healed, he will take reduced damage. I think that is what these numbers are. If you go to Phoenix's Wikipedia page, and I really hope these numbers are correct, I haven't really tested them, I am assuming these are correct. It states that the healing rate of Phoenix is 12.5 health per second. This is the healing rate that he gets from his fire utility. And if you subtract 26 with 12.5, you get 13.5, which is rounded down to 13. So Phoenix would take 13 damage if he is being healed by his own utility as well as standing on the Snakebite. Sage does 12 health per second healing to her allies, so anybody who is being healed by a Sage and is also standing on the Snakebite will take 14 damage per second rate of damage from Snakebite. And 14 is greater than 13, so there seems to be a range of 13 to 26. So I think that's the reason why there is a range present in this Wikipedia page, and there is no range present in the main Viper page. So if the rate of damage of Snakebite is 26 damage per second and the rate of damage from the decay is 15 damage per second, the total damage stacks up to 41 damage per second. It is not a variable, it is a constant. So according to Unidaro's numbers, it is 28, 69, 110 and 151. According to me, it should be 41, 82, 123, 164. So you can see that the numbers are quite different, and you may feel like the number difference is very small, but it's actually not. These number differences are pretty high because the times are low, and especially in a bomb defuse scenario, every single second of damage counts. I have checked the rate of damage by recording a clip. This clip was recorded a month back when I was analyzing what Unidaro's post plant lineups are exactly working, how they're working. And I use the same technique, calculating the frame difference and stuff, and it gives you approximately 40 to 41 damage per second rate of damage. So my numbers seems to be more aligned correctly. So yes, that's my proof and my evidence of why the damage rate are 41 damage per second constantly rather than Unidaro's damage numbers. I also tried to prove that the damage given in the Wikipedia page might be because of the healing. If you want to know more regarding how the lineups work, like I was saying, I was actually analyzing how his lineups work. I will make a video on it soon. In that video, I will discuss when to throw your lineups, how long the lineup time should be, and how long it takes to damage. One thing I can definitely say from my earlier testing is that if you throw your smoke orb as well as Molotov on the bomb before anybody steps on it, the enemy cannot even complete the half-time defuse. I have tested this with an experiment. That's one thing I can really say. I will make a detailed video on how to use Viper's post-plant lineups correctly. And you don't actually have to use the poison orb if you're alone in a 1v1, but if you're in a 1v2, it is always recommended to use the orb. Anyway, I'll give a detailed guide soon, but I had to get my point across. No hate to Unidaro, he's a really great player and he had a really good guide, so I recommend you guys to check it out. I just have to get the damage number straight because it is quite important. And he was very cooperative with me, and he states that if I am correct, then the Wikipedia page is wrong, so it wouldn't make sense. So I think I'm right, and the damage numbers are different because of the healing rates from other agents. So yeah, I see you guys later. Peace.